Today, to define our path forward, I'm making our incredible workers 6 more promises that I will keep over the next 4 years, and I'm very proud to make them at your plant and in the state of Ohio. First and foremost, we will defeat the China virus. We're working very, very hard. We call it the China virus, we call it the invisible enemy, we call it many different names. It's got many different names, but it's bad, and we've made tremendous strides. We're attacking the virus from every angle, and through this aggressive strategy, we will win the war, and it will happen sooner than people think. We're developing a bounty of therapies such as remdesivir, dexamethasone, antibody treatments. The antibody treatments are really working out well, really well, and many more that have allowed us to reduce mortality by 85% since April. Under Operation Warp Speed, 2 vaccines are already in the final stage of clinical trials, and we'll have a vaccine very soon, I hope long before the end of the year. We've dramatically increased our domestic production of personal protective equipment, such as N95 respirators, gowns, and gloves. We've got factories now all over the United States making these products, and we've developed the most advanced testing system on earth. My second promise to you is this: we will rise from the current adversity of this horrible invisible enemy, and we will be more prosperous and resilient than ever before. We've done things that we never knew we could do. We're building factories now. We're building plants. You'll see what's going to be happening with the job numbers very soon. We had 2 of the best months ever in the history of our country, and we're going to have many, many very, very successful years, unless somebody comes along and destroys it by doubling, tripling, and quadrupling your taxes, and quadrupling something else called regulations. My third promise is to build on these gains to turn America into the premier medical manufacturer, pharmacy, and drugstore of the world. As we've seen in this pandemic, the United States must produce essential equipment, supplies, and pharmaceuticals for ourselves. We cannot rely on China and other nations across the globe that could one day deny us products in a time of need. We can't do it. We can't do it. But during the course of the next 4 years, we will bring our pharmaceutical and medical supply chains home. We're going to bring them home where they belong. And we'll end reliance on China, just like we did with the washers and dryers, just like we did with many other things. We'll be making our product here safely, beautifully, and inexpensively. We're reasserting American economic independence, and I've been doing that from the first day I came into office. To this end, a short time ago, I signed a new executive order to ensure that when it comes to essential medicines, we buy American. The executive order will require that U.S. government agencies purchase all essential medicines that we need from American sources. The executive order will also sweep away unnecessary regulatory barriers to domestic pharmaceutical production and support advanced manufacturing processes that will keep our drug prices low and allow American companies to compete on the world stage. We'll be able to compete on the world stage, but we're now going to have the lowest prices as opposed to by far the highest prices. Here's my 4th promise to American workers. Beyond our medical supply chains over the next 4 years, we will onshore millions of new manufacturing jobs across many other critical sectors that are vital to our national security and prosperity, from electronics to machine tools to shipping, aerospace, autos, and of course to iron and to steel. During 8 years of the last administration, America lost 10,000 factories and nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs. Think of that. In contrast, my administration added over 500,000 manufacturing jobs. It was up to actually 701,000 jobs before the plague came in. My fifth promise to American workers is to bring back American jobs and factories using every tool at my disposal, including tariffs. I love properly put on tariffs because they bring unfair competitors from foreign countries to do whatever you want them to do. Countervailing duties and new trade deals based on the principle of fairness and reciprocity. And I'll be signing something very important. Watch over the next week. I think you'll be very proud of your president. I'm going to be signing something that's very important. My sixth and final promise today is to forever uphold the commitment I made from the beginning. I will always put American workers first, always. They'll always be put first. As part of this commitment, on Monday I signed an executive order to prevent government agencies like the Tennessee Valley Authority from replacing American workers with cheap foreign labor. There's a very big utility run by a man that gets $8 million a year. Would anybody in this room like that job? $8 million? $8 million a year, right? The Tennessee Valley Authority pays $8 million a year to the head. And after the authority laid off 20% of its American technology workforce and forced them to train their foreign replacements this week, I told the chairman of the board, "You're fired." And the firings will continue unless the layoffs are reversed and the American workers are rehired.